give it 2 seconds for the circle to just go round a minute and for the page to just slightly change over and for me to be set up in front of you. I don't know how long this is going to last for, because as you can see I am sat outside. Summer's time to load up at the spinning stop and give you time to jump back on. So, hello guys, there you are. So basically I said hello or halo. So basically this is Portsmouth City Council hub, and what I basically said is drop down their letters and see if you can tell me what date that this hub actually opens. And I said I would tell you later, so I will tell you now. So basically on the 19th, the irony, on the 19th of July 2014, on the very same day that Exposure Don't Take My Child came out. So this is Portsmouth City Hub. This is a hub that is within every permitted sort of city that they have around the UK. So basically people have housing officers. Inside this office is Eva, and the main manager is John Wright. John Wright has been overseeing the matter for this sunflower who has a hidden condition since I have been here 4.5 years, where I have been systematic. Hello there guys. Like I said, I'm on some new producer thing. I have no idea how to use this stuff. The quality is not necessarily great because of the laptop that I'm on. So I come in because I was trying to live down there at the council where the signal should be fine and dandy, but obviously wasn't. But what I want to talk about is Portsmouth City Council. So basically, what is a council? A council is basically the employees of the state. So basically the Queen has the security, so she employs the security and the protection, so that's the army, and then obviously transportation, and then obviously she needs her council. So basically her council are the people that go out, and they're like in the Roman days where they would come in and take your taxes from them. We have them formalised in these buildings now. So we have nice little phones and little laptops, and obviously that world still exists in this day and time. It's just that it's structured, it's formalised. So basically everyone who goes on about like the Bilderbergs and all these people that they say that own the world, that's not actually the case. That was back in history. I think the Rothschilds are like 800 and something on Forbes of the richest people. However, basically that's where they used to get their money from. So basically the council has to go, right, I have this amount of birth certificates. Each person is going to cost X amount of people. These people have obviously their home, they have their physical home, their health, and they have all of these things. Now, unfortunately, one of the biggest problems is we live under control and greed and corruption. So basically you've got the 7 sins, and then obviously you've got the 7 fruits, wrong hands. So the 7 fruits and the 7 sins. So basically that is what we actually exist in. Basic human fundamental needs don't change, being our skin colour. It doesn't change per you know, what country that we're necessarily from, in terms of our fundamental basic needs for love, growth, contribution, to feel significant, to you know, to be able to expand and to have some form of certainty, but to have a little variety to give us that little bit of kick in the arse. We know we all need what we know to be constructed as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is what social care is running under. And here lays the problem. Maslow is based on self-actualization. So what it does is it builds people in the self. It takes you out of spirit, out of core, and builds in ego-driven living. And that's not good, because it's building you up in strength that actually is false. Where Dying to self is very different. That's people who live in spirit. That's the 3D people, the 5D people, the 5-dimensional people. And then of course you've got 3D people that live in literally body and this world and don't really understand that we are finite spiritual beings having a human experience, which is what we are. Now, from my perspective, from my opinion, I don't work for the council, I don't work for government, I'm just somebody who's been through the education system, who's had children that have gone through the education system, and people who have gone obviously to their doctor and then to be referred to a consultant. And then it stops. And the challenge is, in this country that we live in, you then go, your doctor then either signs you off, so this is basically what it is about. Can you work or not? If you can't, is there a reason why? What is your reason why? Answer to the system, and the system will support you to this particular level on the basis that you do 35, 40 hours job searches for you to go back into a job. The Queen has created multiple jobs, be it in the rail service, cleaning the streets, doing the lights, engineering. Do you want to be a hairdresser? Do you want to work in construction? What job is available to you is what job you think that you are suitable to fit. Are you fit for purpose? Are you work fit? Can you get up in the morning and be at a job at a certain time and leave at a certain time? Yes, people go home exhausted. Yes, people go home tired, but they go home with that nice little pay packet that then pays for the rent and the council tax and the insurance. And the Bible said that we would tithe 10% to the kingdom. It didn't say that we would be raped and pillaged, and that is what Jesus came to do, to change over, turn over the temples, to take away the change makers, the people who were exchanging time for service and money, and raping and pillaging people to give up their lands, their property, their hard-earned money. That's not the way it was meant to be. We were not meant to settle in certain places. We were not meant to be forced into institutional living, and we were not meant to be forced to be sheep for the shepherd. That's not how it was meant to be. We are not slaves. However, we have been treated like slaves for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. That has been down to Queenie, who's got the ball, and you will do as you're told. If not, that you would be hung and quartered in treason. Do not go up against the Queen now. Do not argue against government, because there was a time when you would stand there and they would go, "Oh God!" and they would have a knife to you, and you would never step towards the Queen. You would not step towards Parliament or officials. But what we don't talk about, we're going a little bit deeper now, guys. We talk about the Queen. We talk about a king that we don't have but other countries do. And we talk about the pawns. And we talk about the knights-ish. And we talk about the bishops. But what we don't talk about, and we talk about the MPs and the councillors who are voluntary, but we don't talk about the emperors. Time to start talking about emperors and empresses, where this comes from, how it goes, and who really is controlling all of this, because actually the power is in the people, because the people are in control. It's just that they don't know this. Take an 18-year-old that we all know. She's already lost in her head. Even though that she has not been in court to be declared that she is going to have her daughter removed from her on care and placement orders, the baby's already been fit for adoption. The baby's already been earmarked, mate. They're going for care and placement orders on the baby. Mum's done. Even though there's still this whole thing to go on. So what is the council? It is nothing more than the pawns and the bishops and all of those things that form managers and mayhem, basically. So the top, middle and bottom. So what would be in, say me, director of Step Up Britain. The director then needs a secretary, and from secretary they have board of directors. From board of directors they then have middle management, middle line management, micro management, nano micromanagement, and then each person is delivered their position. So it's about that position. So down from coming into sort of what would be families, we're so fragmented. It's the education system, it's adult children and social care, it's the health, and we are meant to be coming under what's called multi-agency, but that multi-agency is just coming in on, as I've showed you, are you basically going to try and overturn government? Are you basically a free thinker? Can you think for yourself? Are you going to abide to these rules? That's all they want to know. Are you going to conform to the ways of the world, or are you a outlaw, basically? Somebody like me would be considered a rebel. I would be labelled a rebel. I would be labelled an anarchist. I find that quite offensive. What I am is somebody who loves serving the Lord. I love waking up in the morning and going, wow, what a beautiful day, you know, how can I be of service, you know, what can I do for you today in this wonderful, beautiful world? And I enjoy those interactions that I have and the way things go. What I don't like is people who try to manage time. Time cannot be managed. Activities can be managed. But where I struggle to take this is it's all done based on room bookings. It's all done based on how much somebody gets paid an hour. It's all done based on what can be done within that time. It's the same as going to a GP. What can be done within those 5 minutes? What can be said? You can't even do a blood test in 5 minutes. It gets sent to the nurse. There's no interpersonal relationships with people anymore. Not even your own mum and dad do you have that proper, true interpersonal relationship. There's not proper support systems because people go, oh, it's all about you. Well, no, it's about cross-supporting, isn't it? So me standing, watching Amber, you know, emceeing, and my kids are watching, you know, still watching, just as if I was on stage and Amber's watching me. Doesn't mean that she's not on stage performing. I'm not taking that away from her. It's just that there's children there, and I don't mind if my children run up on my stage